Sarika writes, बहुत आनंद आ रहा है. I know these classes are beautiful. Such beautiful stories. And especially when women speak, oh, it just makes me very happy. Very rare to find women giving such knowledge. All right, let's begin. Shri Chakra Vasini Devi Namaste, Shivkama Sundari Devi Namaste, Shri Krishna Sodari Devi Namaste, Rajarajeshwari Devi Namaste, Rajarajeshwari Devi Namaste, Padmadala Lochani Devi Namaste, Bhakta Paripalini Devi Namaste, Parvat Vartini Devi Namaste, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, करुणाविलासिनी देवी नमस्ते, कात्यायनी गौरी देवी नमस्ते, कदम्बवनवासिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अखिलांडेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अभयप्रदायिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, सत्यस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, सद्गुरु रूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, धर्मस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अखंड परिपूरणी देवी नमस्ते, आदि पराशक्ति देवी नमस्ते, अखिल परिपालिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अनंत रक्षक देवी नमस्ते, सौभाग्यदायिनी देवी नमस्ते, संतान लाभ प्रदे देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, पाहि भुवनेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, श्री विद्या रूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, शक्ति स्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी namaste. So we have we are in Tripura Rahasya. The Gyan Khanda means the part where knowledge is being given. Yesterday we heard the story of Hemlata and Hemchud. Hemchud thought his wife is just an ordinary woman, and the conversation goes, and she speaks so nicely that he starts developing detachment or vairagya, dispassion in everything. So even though he is a king and he has so many habits from the past, he's trying to enjoy life, but he is not able to enjoy because of all the stories that Hemlekha told. The name is Hemlekha and Hemlata both. And then Hemlekha told, "Don't worry, I was also like you once upon a time." And she told that story of how we are all pure souls. These are our story. We are pure souls, born pure souls. We are born out of our mother. Who is pure? Who is our mother? Divine Mother. She's pure consciousness. So we are her part and parcel, and we are very pure. But we got a friend called intellect, buddhi. I'll use the word buddhi, okay? It makes it easier. So we have a friend called buddhi. So if the buddhi is clean, intellect is clean, then we are also clean. If buddhi becomes contaminated, dirty, we also become dirty. So Hemlika says, I have this friend called Buddhi. My mother gave me Buddhi. But this Buddhi got in touch with another bad friend who was contaminated. And she married my Buddhi to this foolish guy, Mr. Fool. So now I am a pure soul. My Buddhi, my intellect is all covered up with ignorance. And now I am married with foolishness. And now this Buddhi married with foolishness gives birth to restlessness. And that restlessness has another wife who is cunningness, all sorts of cunningness, using your brains for all sorts of nonsense things, which is very harmful for us, but doing it. And because of that, their association, they are having 5 sons: sound, sight, smell, touch, taste. And then they had this son. So this guy again, so the cunning mind is there. That is also helping. Then the cunning mind marries another lady, which is greed, excessive greed, never-ending greed, want more, want more, want more. And then they had 2 more sons, anger and humiliation. So the Himlekha is saying, I was like you, I was pure soul, but all these family members inside me, they started becoming so powerful that my beautiful friend, my intellect, my buddhi was completely destroyed. Whole day they were living in this body of 10 gates. Whole day they are doing all this and never satisfied. The family, entire family, all this, which I took. Only in the night I used to get some rest when they all slept. Soul is getting rest when all this are sleeping. At that time, there is to be another thing, which is a friend of this, which is conscious mind, subconscious mind. Okay, prachar or prana shakti, subconscious mind. That prana used to wake up, and that is what it was protecting. Otherwise, if that consciousness, that pure consciousness or prana shakti, life force is not there, then definitely the way this buddhi, the intellect is going, the way the greed is going, the way this senses are going, everything would have been destroyed in this, and this city would have been destroyed. But eventually this city gets destroyed, this body gets destroyed, and then another city I'm getting into, and with the same family. One time, this buddhi was so tired. And then we met in solitude. That solitude happens when we are tired and we are meditating. Then we met in solitude, and then my friend understood the buddhi. What have I done? Greed and getting lost in this ignorance. So then this intellect understood, no, this is not good for me. And then she imprisoned all of this. Some of them she burnt. And then the buddhi, the intellect became pure. And when she became pure, I also became pure, the soul. The story I've combined together, but she was just telling like a story. Oh, Rajan, oh king, I was like you once upon a time, and this is what happened, my friend, this. And then, when my friend became pure, I also became pure. Then I felt rest. So you have to do this now. You're restless. You also have to become pure. So the king hears the story. And he says, you had a mother and you had all these friends. I feel like you're lying. She's like, Rajan. Rajan means king. Rajan, why would I lie? I'm your wife. And I'm the daughter of this sage. You think? And I'm an austere woman. Why would I lie? I would not lie to you. I'm your well-wisher. You have to have faith in me. What I'm saying is the truth. I have a mother. But you told me your mother was at Vidyadhari, that, she met that king, and then you were a child out of wedlock and she left you because she was afraid of all that. Now you're saying your mother is somebody else. Who is this mother? I'll tell you about it. But first, you must have faith in me. If you have faith, I'm a competent person. If you do not have faith, you will be in trouble. If you have faith in me, then you will understand what I'm trying to say. Without faith, not possible. Listen to me, O Rajan. Oh, Prince, what I'm going to say. I will explain you whatever I have understood and the point where I've reached. The story I told you of the story of my purification. I have reached that. And I shall explain to you the rationale of reaching that supreme goal only by means of faith. So first thing in this path is faith. Be attentive. If you just keep arguing with me, telling me I am a liar or anything like that, you will not get it. So people will not gain anything in this lifetime or any other lifetime just by endlessly discussing things or just by blindly accepting things. So you're right. Maybe you are trying to understand me more, but first have faith in me. If somebody is having a blind faith also, a blind acceptance also, there is some hope for them. But if somebody is just arguing and trying to prove, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, mindlessly, then there is no hope for that person. So have faith in me. I will explain you everything. Leave your logic for some time. And whatever you talk to me, it should be in accordance to the scriptures. If you want salvation, because right now you are in a state where you want to enjoy things, yet you are not able to enjoy things. You are in a state of dispassion, but at the same time, old habits die hard. They are pulling you. If I was lying, my words would not have had effect on you. My words were full of truth and full of power. And that's why this state of dispassion has reached. I like this husband-wife, the way they're talking. The wife is that powerful. And the husband is also agreeing to the wife. Even though there is always like little husband-wife, always they discuss and they may argue with each other. But even in the argument, the foundation is to help each other. And this is how marriages have to be. Husband-wife can argue. But not out of hatred. Oh, you are bad, you are bad. No, no, this is not the way. Oh, you're a liar, you're a liar. No, you can't say like that. You have to trust your husband, your wife. So here he is saying that, what you're talking, it's not making sense, because now I'm thinking, I'm doubting you, oh Hemlekha. And Hemlekha is saying, don't doubt me, I'm your wife. I'm your well-wisher. You have to just trust me. And don't doubt me. And I'll explain you everything. So the king is like, okay, now explain me. So that is how husband-wife should be. Okay, let's understand each other's point of view. And let us walk the path and see what is the harm in that. We are friends. And so such a beautiful couple, helping each other grow. So she's telling, you are intelligent, I understand, you have logic, I understand, but please for some time leave the logic aside, because whatever logic you will give me according to the scriptures. Hemchud looked at his wife and he says, my dear, I know you are blessed, you are wise. And I think, the way he says, I think I am also blessed because I have a wife like you. You are blessed, you are wise, and I am blessed because I have a wise wife. And you say that faith bestows the highest good. So, oh my dear, how does it so? Where is faith expedient and where not? The scriptures differ in their teachings. The teachers also differ among themselves. The commentaries of the teachers also differ among themselves. Like, one Gita you start, Bhagwan spoke one thing, and everybody else has interpreted it in their own way. And there are so many interpretations of Gita. Every book will appear different. So it becomes very different. There are so many paths. Some will say meditation, some will say chanting, some will make their own path. Some will say yoga, some will say pranayam. Some will say logic, some will say Sankhya, some will say Karma Yoga, some will say Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, different names, fancy names. So here he's saying the same thing. You told me that I have to talk according to the scriptures, but what scripture should I refer? Because every scripture is different, every teaching is different, the commentaries are also different, everybody's reasoning is also different, and each speaker, they stamp their own view with the seal of authority, and they'll say everything else is bad. They'll condemn the rest. Do not follow the others. They will harm you. Only what I am saying is the right thing. So, oh, Hemlata, my wife, you are saying, but my situation is such right now. I don't even know what to speak. I cannot decide for myself. So please now you explain me which school I should follow. And in chapter 7th, this was the gist of chapter 6th. Chapter 7th, Hemlata says she's very happy with her husband, because her husband is going on the right track. She was saintly and she had a practical knowledge of the state of salvation. So she kindly spoke to him. She said, my dear husband, first thing in this path, one is to have faith. Second, this monkey mind. The mind is always like a restless monkey. And the ordinary man is inflicted with troubles because of this restless mind. Everybody knows that the restless mind is the channel of all troubles. When everybody is sleeping and the mind is also at rest, all troubles stop. But when you wake up, so I'm going to speak to you. But first thing, if your mind is distracted here and there, please bring it to the state of rest. A distracted mind cannot understand. Man will be benefited if he keeps himself away from dry logical arguments. And when we are discussing now, let this be purposeful. Aimless discussions will bear no fruit. So let us discuss with some aim. Let us be guided by proper deliberation. Let us make the right choice by right discussion and according to the experience of the wise. Now I'm going to ask you, if you want something good, if you do not want pain and misery, you want them to be gone forever, then we have to look for that seed which can take it away. So you have to understand, why are you in pain and misery first? You came to me saying, I'm in pain, I'm not able to enjoy. You're telling me about renunciation and then I'm in pain still. So you have to understand, why are you in pain? Find out the reason for that pain. The pain is born out of delusion. So now the question was, what is the seed of this pain and misery? The seed of this pain and misery is delusion. In other words, it is called Maya, the illusory energy. So if somebody wants to go, you wanted to go beyond the pain and misery. If somebody wants to go beyond the pain and misery, they have to go beyond illusory energy, Maya. So now the question comes, all right, how do I do this? She says, this Maya comes out of the master wizard known as Maheshwar or Lord Shiva. He is the creator of this world. And this Maya, the illusory energy, is always with him. And because of this illusory energy, which is with Maheshwara always, everybody in the world is deluded. Even like when you go to see a magic show, when you go to see the magic show, a magician deludes you. You see a little magic, somebody's in the magician may cut the girl's head and you think, oh my God, the head is cut, but the head is not cut. It is just an illusion. Similarly, this whole world is just a magical show of that great wizard called Maheshwara. And he's doing it with his illusory energy called Maya. So if you want to cross this ocean of Maya, you must go and surrender to Lord Maheshwara. If Lord Maheshwara is pleased on you, then what will happen? Lord Maheshwara has with him the greatest knowledge, the supreme knowledge, that is called Mahavidya. Oh my king, you are stuck in this Maya because of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. You are stuck in this Maya, in this illusory energy because of ignorance. Avidya. So how do you cut that ignorance? Get the supreme knowledge, Mahavidya. From where I'll get the supreme knowledge? Well, it is with Maheshwar, Lord Shiva. So if you really want to cross this ocean of suffering and misery, go to Maheshwar. And once you go to Maheshwar, he will be the one who will give you all the knowledge of these Mahavidyas in Tantra Shastra. These 10 great Mahavidyas are Kali, Tara, Shodashi, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, Baglamukhi, Matangi, and Kamlatmika. I've just taken the names, but these are actually, there are a lot of forms associated, but totally they are together, they are called aggregate as Mahavidya. Maha means the greatest. Vidya means the knowledge, the one who knows knowledge. So Mahavidya. So Hemlata is saying, you must go to that Maheshwar, and by his grace, you will know the Mahavidya. And once you know the Mahavidya, you will be out of this Maya's clutches. There are other methods also, but those methods may not be very useful because nothing will come to your help. No knowledge will be helpful to you if the Lord's grace is not going. Therefore, oh my dear husband, please worship the primal cause of the universe as the starting point. Become devoted to him, and he alone will soon enable you to succeed in your attempts to destroy this illusion. This universe where we are all put in definitely has some origin. That origin is shrouded in mystery. So one must investigate the cause of the visible effect. Whatever is happening here around, everything has come, but there is something, there is some creator. So one must go to that creator, and then pray to him. His power is immeasurable. Just like you see this world is so vast, you cannot fathom it, you cannot know what it is. So if that person who can create this unimaginable vastness of creation, that creator must be so vast. He is the one who can protect and elevate everybody. So therefore, you must surrender to that one creator who is also known as Maheshwar or Lord Shiva. Surrender to him unreservedly. If the Lord of the world is pleased with you, then he will give everything. If the Lord of the world will be pleased, Will anything be withheld from the devotee? Tell me. He is the only solace of the devotees. There are many leaders in the world, but not everybody is necessarily kind. They may be cruel, ungrateful. But with Bhagwan Shiva or Bhagwan Maheshwar, this is not how it is. He is extremely great. He is extremely kind. He is Bhaktavatsala. तमेव सर्वभावेन भक्त्याशु शरणीकुरु श्रेयसी त्वां योज्येत स्वतं न तत्परतां व्रज उपासने बहुविधम् आर्थिवत् तत्त्वतोऽपि च निर्हेतुकं तु क्वचित्कं तत्सत्योपासनं भवेत्. You must go and surrender yourself directly and unhesitatingly. He will give you whatever is the best for you. Now, when people go and surrender to God, they pray to God. She's mentioning here. Some people will go in distress because they're in so much trouble. And some people will go with some desire because desires are also troubling. One is distress. We are really in trouble. We are short of money and we don't know. So where do we go? We ask from Bhagwan. And some desires, they literally trouble us. We want them to be fulfilled. So we go to God. So these are one way to approach Bhagwan. The other one is lovingly dedicate yourself to him. So she's saying among the methods of approach to God, one is to worship, to overcome troubles. The other one is to gain wealth, etc. And the third one is loving dedication of oneself. And here she says, out of all these three worships, the best one is lovingly dedicate yourself to him without asking for anything. Surrender. Ahetukiya pratihata, unconditional love to Bhagwan. And desireless love. Selfless. Nirhetukantu, he says, upasne bahuvidim arthi tattvato apicha nirhetukantu kwachitkam tat satyopasanam bhavet drishtam etat sarvato vai chartanopasita prabhu kadachidadaya vishta arthi tasya vimochayet. And then she goes on explaining the process. He says, if in practical life, if there is a person and he has somebody serving him, like we have servants, maid servants, and if the maid servant comes to us and they tell their problems, and if we are able to help, we do help. So similarly, if somebody is going to Bhagwan and they are showing their utmost devotion and not asking anything, there's no ulterior motive, then will not Bhagwan notice? Oh, this devotee comes to me without anything. He has nothing to ask from me, no complaints of life, nothing to even ask. He just comes and says, I love you, Bhagwan. And just offers me a flower. Gita Bhagwan says, just offer me 4 things. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. He just offers me flower, same with Maheshwara, Lord Shiva, same thing. Maheshwar is so nice, Shiva is so nice, you offer him Datura. Datura is full of poison. He's like, okay, offer it. If you can get only that, no problem, offer. Just offer water. What do we offer to Shivji? All the time offer water. Just offer these 4 things. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. We offer him Bel Patra, leaf. Phalam also Datura Phal. Or bear. Bear is berries. He's pleased by just offering berries, just offering water, just offering Bilva Patra. And flower also Datura. Or any other flower you can offer. So if somebody is just doing this and offering and giving and sending all the love to him, Bhagwan notices. If a human master does, understands the unselfish love, then what about Bhagwan? He is Bhagwan. He is the Lord of the universe. He is the dweller in our hearts. And he knows each and every devotee very well. When the devotee approaches with some desire, Bhagwan, fulfill my desire, then Bhagwan will fulfill the desire, but Bhagwan has to wait for the course of destiny. You have done some karmas in the past. You have to first fulfill those karma phala, the resultant reaction of those actions. First, you have to eat those fruits of the karma of the past. And now you prayed, Bhagwan, give me this. So then this will fructify in a certain time. But somebody who goes to Bhagwan just to offer love and not asking anything, that person also may have some karmas, some destiny. Because of the past karma, some destiny is coming. But when somebody is surrendering without, selflessly, then Lord Shiva is so powerful. He changes the course of destiny for a selfless devotee. God does not await course of destiny for a selfless devotee. The one who thinks that Bhagwan is my sole refuge, in that case, Bhagwan takes care of him. He does not, and if destiny comes and says, Bhagwan, no, you can't fulfill this desire now. He's like, you don't have to ask, you don't have to tell me what I have to do. He is my selfless devotee and I will change his destiny. I will compensate my devotee quickly because I am the supreme. I don't depend on anything else. Predestiny is for people who are not surrendering to Bhagwan. For them, destiny will take care. But those who have surrendered to Bhagwan, destiny can be changed. And then Hemlata is talking all this and she's giving the example of Markandeya Rishi. She says, oh my Lord, you know Markandeya? Markandeya was destined to live only 12 years of his life. But in the end, he went and he prayed to Lord Shiva. And then he lived so long. Just by the prayer, his destiny was completely changed. He could evade death because of praying to Lord Shiva. So since you asked me what I must do to come out of these clutches of Maya, very easy. Pray to Lord Shiva. Selflessly pray to him. You don't want anything, you have everything. Selflessly pray to him, and then he will change all the destiny for you, and then you'll be free. The current notion that one cannot accept one cannot escape one's destiny is only for the weak-minded. There are yogis who practice control of breath, and even fate cannot impose its fruits on the yogis. Destiny only seizes and holds senseless and weak people. Those who are stuck in their nature. But if somebody is with Bhagwan, destiny can be fully changed. Therefore, oh my dear husband, I can only say, please take refuge of Lord Shiva. And this is the first rung in the ladder to the pedestal of bliss. Nothing else is worthwhile. She's saying all these things. Dattatreya continued, O Parshuram, hearing the beautiful talks of his wife, Hemchud was very happy. Hemchud said, oh my dear, you're saying very right. I have to go and approach that one creator. And now you are taking the name of Maheshwar, Maheshwar, Maheshwar. But there are other scriptures who say, oh no, Vishnu. Then there are other scriptures which say Shiva. He's asking, this question is here. Tam Vishnu ke chidvay kechi Shiva Ganeshwaram tatha Suryam Narsimmadin Buddham Sugatam Evacha Arhantam Vasudevancha Pranam Somascha Pavakam Karma Pradhana Manava Ityadi Bahudajaguhu. So he says, you said Maheshwar, Maheshwar, Maheshwar. But there are people who are saying Vishnu, then somebody takes the name of Shiva, then somebody says Ganesha, somebody says Sun, somebody says Narsimha. There are other incarnations, Buddha, Arhat, Vasudev, moon, fire, karma, nature, primordial nature, and whatnot. Each sect gives a different origin for the universe. So tell me which of them is true. And I know because you were brought up by sage Vyagrapad, and he was very profound in his wisdom. So I know you are able to tell me, because you are his daughter, even though you are a lady, but you are not ordinary. So tell me what I should do. So Hemlekha says, my dear husband, listen, the final truth about God. God is the all-seer. He is the witness to everything. He generates, permeates, sustains, and destroys the universe. He himself becomes Shiva. He himself becomes Vishnu. He is Brahma. He is the sun. He is the moon. He is the one whom different sects call their own. But at the same time, he is not Shiva. He is not Vishnu. He is not Brahma, or nor any other exclusively. The sects can call their name, but he is not that exclusive. He is beyond all that. And he is able to do all of these things because of one thing. And that thing is Chiti Shakti, consciousness. So all this Brahma, Vishnu, sun, moon, nothing can be sustained if that conscious energy is not there to sustain them. So the conclusion is, he is pure intelligence, and his consciousness is absolute and transcendental. His conscious intelligence is all pure, and that energy that also sustains him is called one queen, Parmeshwari, transcendental goddess, who is in all the three states, and she's called Tripura. Means somebody will say, oh, Vishnu is maintaining the universe. How? He's having an energy. That is Tripura. Shiva is taking the role of annihilation. How? He has energy. Tripura. Ganesh is the gravitational force of the earth. How is that force? Force is Tripura. The sun is giving the energy to everybody. How? The force is Tripura. The moon is giving light to everybody, and how? The force is Tripura. Brahma created the whole universe. How? The force is Tripura. So it all appears, people may take different names, but all of these devatas are nothing if that force is not there. And that force, that cosmic force, is called Parmeshwari Tripura. She is undivided, a whole. The universe manifests in all variety in her. She is reflected as if in a self-luminous mirror. The reflection cannot be apart from the mirror, and therefore one with it. Such being the case, there cannot be difference in degrees. So even though Shiva, Vishnu, people may say this is superior, that is superior, but no, we don't see like that. They are all one God with his Shakti, who are doing different roles. So we pray to that Maheshwar and that Maheshwari, that Tripureshwar and that Tripureshwari, that Tripur and that Tripurari and that Tripura. And their existence is also because of the existence of this Shakti. She is called Tripura. Those who understand this, they will go beyond Maya. If one is not able to comprehend this pure state, then what they must do, they must worship one God in the concrete form in which they feel attracted to. So if somebody says, I like Vishnu's form, you are getting attracted because of your nature to that form. So you must worship Vishnu. If somebody likes Ganesha's form, let them worship Ganesha. Somebody likes Shiva's form, let them worship Shiva. But all this worship, whatever they're doing, is going to that one God, Maheshwar. Some will call him Krishna, some will call some other name, but that Maheshwar. When we read Vishnu Sahasranam, Vishnu is called Maheshwar. Vishnu is called Shiva, Sharva, Rudra. So we all know, those who are knowledgeable know. So she's ending up this chapter. She's saying, though one attempted it in million of births, but one will not be able to go beyond if he does not practice either one of the two ways. One of the ways is to think of Bhagwan as one formless energy, cosmic energy, and the other way is to go towards to worship a form, and from the form understand his Sachidananda transcendental state. So she's talking about both these things. So Hemchud is listening. He's very happy. He understood that Tripura, the true significance of Tripura, he understood Ashwasta Chitta Tripuram Gunarupam Maheshwarim Gyatva Gururabhya Paramam Maheshwara Vibhavitah. He learned from the mouth of his wife the true significance of Tripura. She is pure intelligence and she is God in truth. She is everywhere. She is the Shakti of Maheshwar. He also learned the technique of Tripura's worship from competent teachers as prompted by divine grace. Hemchuda gained some peace of mind and he started worshipping both Shiva and Parvati, basically Tripura and Tripura, together with intense devotion. So he was worshipping, doing all the sadhana, whatever was given to him, he was doing. After some time, it happens, first to fight that thing inside you, the beast inside you. Then after fighting the beast inside you, having faith in the process of meditation or whatever is being given to you, and then doing that, he reaches to a state where there are questions arising in his head. So few months passed in this manner. And Supreme Mother's grace descended on him. He became totally indifferent to all the pleasures of the world because his mind was entirely absorbed now in the practical investigation of the truth. He just wanted to know the truth. Such a state is impossible where you are investigating the truth. Such a state is impossible without the grace of God, because the mind engaged in practical search for truth is the surest means of emancipation. Dattatreya says to Parshuram, there can be so many methods, countless, but all those countless aids cannot give emancipation or liberation. But if somebody develops a desire for the earnest search of truth, then liberation is possible. So once again, when the feeling came into his mind, what is the truth? I have been doing all these sadhanas, all these mantras, yantras, whatever methods he was doing, pranayams, yoga, everything is doing. But what is the truth that I'm looking for? Once again, he sought his wife's help. She saw her husband coming to her place and she was very happy. She's like, are you okay? Everything very good with you? I see that you have been busy in something, my dear husband. You never used to be without me. What happened to you? You have been neglecting me for a long time. There was never a day when it passed without you talking to me. But now you are lost in something else. Everything okay? And she embraced him fondly. Though she embraced him now, this time she embraces him. But he has no reaction. He says, first he wanted to embrace her, right? And then she gave him the big lecture. Now he's changing. Now she embraces him and he says, dear, I will not be deceived by you. I know you, my wife. I'm convinced of your strength. I know that nothing can affect your inherent happiness. My wife, I know you are a sage and unperturbed. You know, this world and beyond, Now you are hugging me. If I hug you, I know what will happen to me. But you are hugging me, and I know your hug is very pure. Your embrace is very pure, and you won't be perturbed. But if I embrace you, even at this stage, even though I say I'm meditating, I'm doing whatnot, if I hug you, I know I'll be perturbed. But you are hugging me, you're not getting perturbed. You know this world and beyond. So I want to know how are you like this, being unperturbed? What is the cause of your inherent happiness? And that story you told me, it's going on in my head. And you told me in the story that you are your mother's daughter and you are as pure as your mother. So please, can you tell me, who is your mother? Who is your friend? Who is the friend's husband? Who are the sons? Tell me. What relationships you have with all these people? Tell me everything in full so that I may understand it clearly. Himlekha was smiling now. And she was very delighted because she knows now his mind is becoming pure. And this is happening because of the blessings of God. Even though I'm hugging him, but he's just not liking my embrace. So it is a blessing. He is evidently indifferent to the pleasures of life and is strong in mind. And this is due to Tripura's blessing alone, Tripura who is in the heart. Dispassion cannot come otherwise. It is by the grace of Tripura and Maheshwar, Shiva, that now his mind is wrapped in the quest for truth. And now he's becoming detached from sensual pleasures. Now is the time. Time is ripe to enlighten him. So she says, no, then she goes on telling, my mother is transcendence, transcendental consciousness. My mother is divine consciousness, pure consciousness, and my friend is intellect, and all the story that I've told you, she explained to him. Now we reach chapter 9th. Hemchuda is listening. Hemchud understood the significance of his wife's story, and his voice choked with joy, and he said, my dear wife, you are indeed blessed. You are wise. I want to experience that profound wisdom of yours. Up to now, I did not know really. But now, after you have made it clear to me, I understand everything, just like a gooseberry resting on the palm of my hand. I now understand that the end of humanity is to realize our wonderful nature. The story that you told, I understand the meaning of the story now, that inside our heads, we have kept so many enemies, thinking they are our friends, but they are all enemies. And unless I realize my true self, the way you have realized it, I will not be able to get the happiness. So the goal of life now, I'm understanding, seeing you, is to realize our wonderful nature. You are the transit, you say you are the daughter of transcendence. That's why you're transcendental. You're the daughter of pure consciousness. That's why you're pure conscious. I'm also, she also is my mother. So I have to realize that pure transcendence. I have to realize that pure consciousness. So please tell me further more about this mother of yours. How is she without beginning? Who are we, O Hemlata? What is our nature? Hemlekha looks at her husband, and she's very happy. She says, my dear husband, listen to what I say. And then you must investigate the nature of self with your own intelligence, with your own intellect. I may go on talking about your soul nature. I may go on talking about your real nature. But those will be only talks. This is not an object which can be shown, which can be perceived, or which can be described. This is to be experienced. The mother knows, and you yourself will know. how should I tell you? The self, now she's talking about the soul. Every time she'll say the self, the self. Self means the soul. We are all soul. So, when we read all these books, they are more about talking about the self, 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 and it gets very confusing. That's why in Gita, it becomes very easy. He talks about soul. And your mind has to always practice this. I am the soul. I am the soul. I am the soul. I'm not this body. I am the soul. Once somebody understands what soul is, till now people think, oh, thought, some object. This is you. This is you and me. Soul is us. Soul is everything. Soul is mother. Soul is divine mother. Soul is Bhagwan. So this is what she's trying to say. The self means soul. The self does not admit of specification, and therefore no teacher can teach it. However, realize the self within you. How will you realize the self within you? Where she says, with unblemished intellect. When the intellect is not covered with ignorance. When the intellect is pure. That happened in the story. She says, Hemlata says, my intellect was corrupted completely. And when she removed all those distractions and all those ignorance and it became pure, then I could see myself. I'm pure consciousness always. She's saying the same thing. You have to realize the self within you, and it abides in unblemished intellect. The soul, the self, pervades all. It starts, beginning from God to even the lowest bacteria, even to the amoeba. The soul is in everything. That God is super soul. The same thing is in you. The same thing is in the trees. The same thing is in the animals. The same thing is in the bacteria. It is everywhere. But it is not cognizable by your mind or senses. It is self-illumined. It illumines all, everywhere and always. But it cannot be demonstrated. And it cannot be discussed. It has to be realized. We talk, but it has to be realized. How, when, by whom has it been specifically described, even incompletely? What you ask me, dear, is like somebody asking, show me my eyes. You have your eyes, right? Everybody has an eyes. And you tell me, show me my eyes. How am I going to show your eyes? Your eyes are your eyes. You should know your eyes. What I have to do to show your eyes? I have to bring a mirror in front of you and say, okay, this is your eyes. And you can also see your eyes. Okay, this is my eyes. That mirror is the key. And what is that mirror? To see the soul, the real you. That is you. What is that mirror to see the real soul? That mirror is pure consciousness. Cheto darpan marjanam bhavamahadavag nirvapanam. That mirror of consciousness will, when it is pure, that mirror of consciousness will show you who you are, the self. Even the best teachers cannot bring your eyes to your sight. Can I? No. Similarly, the teacher is of no use. He can only guide you towards it. If the mirror is not there, he'll say, okay, take your hand. This is your eyes. Just feel it. There's a hole and there is something eyelid and hair. This is your eyes. That's all I can say. But you have to make an effort to go and see how your eyes is. You may go in the water and see, oh, my eyes, okay, my eyes are like this. The mirror is not there. But something. So you have to realize it yourself. I can explain you the means of realization. So practice by that means, the sadhana. Hemchud says, okay, what is the mean? How should I? So she says, as long as you're contaminated with the notions of me and mine, my home, my body, my intellect, myself, that real self will not be found. It lies beyond cognition. So you must retire, my dear husband, into a solitude. And you must analyze. And whatever you see from your naked eyes, you must say, not mine. Discard them all and look for the real self. For instance, I'm standing in front of you right now. I'm your wife. And you say, my wife. You have to tell yourself, not my wife. Who am I to say? We go, then you go on the body. Like I've explained this in chapter 6 of Gita. So please do listen to those lectures. Gita will help you very easily understand all this. If somebody has a Gita base, this chapter is very easy. Like we say, my hair. If it was so my, it would not fall. Why is it falling? My face, my skin. I like my skin so much. If it was yours, it should listen to you. Why is it sagging? My eyes, beautiful eyes. If it was yours, why is it losing vision every day? My teeth, beautiful smile. If it was your teeth, why does it fall? Why does it decay? Whatever you think is mine is not yours. And then you say, my wife, my children, my husband, my family, my car, my house. Nothing is mine. Analyze everything in this way and discard it. What remains? Over. Hemlata says, transcending it all beyond conception. Discard everything with appropriation and relinquishment. And what remains in the last, that is the self. That is the soul. And that knowledge is the final emancipation. He got the instructions. Hemchud got the instructions, rose hurriedly from the seat, all pumped up. Yes, I have to realize the self. And then he sat down on his horse and mounted away from the city, because he's a king. He can go and stay anywhere. We will listen lectures, but we can't. We have to go and work. He's like, I'm done. I'm going down. Went to another palace, and then he called his guards. Guards, come here. Nobody should come and meet me. Guards were like, yes, sir. He goes into that one palace, and it's made out of crystal, and he goes on the 9th floor of the palace, and from there he just looks at everybody. Every day his meditation is to look at people. And he sees people are working day in and day out. There are janitors cleaning the roads, then there are gardeners cutting the plants, and there are other people discussing something. He is on top, he's seeing. And then he talks to himself, truly these people are deluded, because he's remembering his wife's thing now. None of them knows even a little bit of the self, the soul. But look at everybody is active for the sake of their own self. They think I'm active. Some of them are reciting scriptures, some are studying, some are ruling the land, some are fighting over the enemy, some are seeking the luxuries of life. When engaged in all these selfish activities, they never question what exactly the self is. Who am I? They are not questioning. All is in vain. Just like in dream, we see so many things, but when we get up, everything is vain. We may dream of becoming a king in the dream. Oh, wow, king. And we are sitting in this crystal palace. Wow, in the dream, it feels so nice. We are enjoying the best of the luxuries. And when we open the eyes and we are like, okay, same old wooden bed, same old thing, same old comforter, same old family, same old everything, same old work. So that dream was vain. Similarly, if somebody has not realized the self, and if they are working like this, thinking, I will win over the enemy, I will get this, I will get that, all that work is vain. So from there, he starts his meditation, his day, and then he looks at himself. My home, no, it's not my home, vain. My wealth, vain. My kingdom, vain, not mine. My treasure, not mine. My women, not mine. My cattle, not mine. None of this is me. They are not mine. My body, no. This is just a tool. not mine. I am the king's son, yes, with very good limbs and very fair complexion. But I am not this. People think of me same way that everybody is thinking of their bodies and their egos are like that. I am not this. And then he went on reflecting, this body is not mine. This is not me. I am not this body. I am not the king's son. I am not this skin. I'm not this flesh. I'm not the blood. I'm not the structure of ribs and bones. I am not this hair. I'm not this eyes. I'm not this nose. I'm not this. I am not this sense, the Panchatan Matras. I'm not this organs. I'm not, and not. And then he comes to a stage where everything is like silence. And he sees darkness. There's no thoughts. After seeing the darkness, he sees lights. And then in the lights, he's seeing something else. Some pictures are coming. Some objects are coming. And when that moment was very nice for him. After that, he came back to normal. He saw a blazing light with no circumference. Again, he regained his human consciousness and he started wondering what happened. I got that experience, but it didn't remain for long. It felt like a long sleep. It felt like I dreamt wonderful dreams. But no, in that stage, it was so happy. I was so blissful. I want to experience that again. Again, he started meditating. Again, he got into that thought, and the mind was still for a time. He was sunk again like an ocean of bliss. Again, he came back to human consciousness, and he kept doing this, mind going there and enjoying, then coming back to human consciousness, going there and coming back. And then whatever he would see, he would think, is it a dream? Is it a hallucination of the mind? But whatever I'm seeing inside, he's seeing great things. Like when I'm talking like this, you will not understand. But from my experience, I'm saying he's seeing Manidweep, he's seeing Goloka, he's seeing Vaikunthas. When that happens, you really feel like, am I hallucinating? Is it really? Time just stops. Everything appears so surreal. Everything appears very glowing. Everything appears glowing. So there is always the stage of experiencing that consciousness and then coming to the human consciousness. So he's going through that stage and he's like, what am I experiencing? My experience is a fact, but it surpasses my imagination. Why is that bliss so unique? Unlike that I have experienced before. The highest of my known experiences cannot be compared with even an iota of the state of the bliss I was just in now. It was like sleep. This is what they call as yoga nidra. It was like sleep. But I was aware. And there was a peculiar bliss at the same time. The reason is not clear to me. Although I'm attempting to know the self, but am I really seeing so? I see the self differently now and again. What can it be? Is it darkness, light, pleasure? Is it possible to see the successive forms of the self? I don't understand. Let me call my wife. Let me ask her. She is the one who will guide me. Again, he says, guards, please get my wife. Hemlekha comes there. Hemlekha comes to his mansion, climbing the steps. She went by his side and sat near him. And very close she went. He opened his eyes. He was meditating at that time. He opened his eyes and he found sitting her close to him. He spoke to her. When he's speaking, Hemlata went and again embraced him and gently spoke. Lord, my highness, I hope everything is okay. You called me here today to your palace. What happened? He says, Hemlekha, you asked me to meditate in a solitary place and engage in investigating the self, and I did so. But I have to share my experience with you. I have diverse visions and experiences. thinking that the constant self-awareness is dimmed by the so-called interference of mental activities. I suppressed all my thoughts. I remained calm. Darkness came, it superseded, and then light appeared, and then sleep, a deepest sleep I experienced. And then I experienced a very unique bliss. I was overpowered by it. Is this the self? And in that self, I saw a lot of things. Is this the self or something different? Please tell me. Is this experience of mine right? Hemlekha, who knew? She says, what you did, my husband? Till now, you restrained your thoughts and your minds inward. That is a good beginning. All the good people praise this effort when you control your restrain your senses and your mind, and you slowly move it inward. Without restraining the senses and without moving the mind inward, there is no way you can get self-realization. Because self is always all the time present. The soul is present, you are always there. But you are not able to feel its presence. We all say soul is there, soul is there, soul is there. The consciousness, soul is consciousness, consciousness. But we are not able to feel because all our energies are external. Our mind is external. The same thing Bhagwan teaches in Gita. Restraint of the senses and bringing the mind inwards. What you did, my husband, was correct. And you experienced. Right before that darkness and then the light came at that point when the thoughts had completely stopped. That is samadhi. I'm glad you experienced. The self is always present. Just like when there is darkness, you can't see the things. But when the light comes, you can see everything in that when the light comes. Similarly, the self, the soul, is always present. But the darkness of the world was always there, covering the soul, covering the self. Now, when you restrained your mind and your senses, the darkness is gone. And when the darkness is gone, the self was eliminated, self-eliminated. And now you're able to see the self. Just as a confused man forgets his purse, but remembers and locates it on keeping his mind unruffled and steady, yet still says that he has gained the lost purse, though the steadying of his mind did not produce it. So also, the control of your mind is not the cause of your self-realization, because the self is always there. The awareness is what is self-realization. Listen to me, my dear husband. Blank darkness was visible after you control your thoughts. In the short interval before its appearance and after the control of mind, there remains a state free from the effort to control and the perception of darkness. Always remember that state as the one of perfect and transcendental happiness. All are deceived in that state because their minds are accustomed to be thinking outside. Though people are learned and skillful and keen, still they search and search and search, but they cannot come to this stage. They grieve day and night because they do not know this stage of self-realization. It is not realizable. It is realized. Realization is not going afar, but only by staying still. Not by thought, but by cessation of thought. So how do you go to self-realization? By staying still. And you stop the thoughts. Efforts towards realization is like the attempt to stamp with one's foot on the shadow cast by one's own hand. There is no effort to be made. All you have to do is still your thoughts. My Lord, I'm happy that you have come to this stage. Realize the nature of the mind with your own true nature. And this realization, it's pure. It is undivided consciousness. Realize with a still mind the state between sleep and wakefulness, the interval between the recognition of one object after another. No. All these shapes, taste, smell, touch, all will be gone in the state of transcendence. Do not allow your mind to be outgoing. Turn it inward. Control it just a little and watch for the self. Be free from the thought of, I see. You were seeing images and you said, I see. You said, be free from the thought of that. Let that feeling go. All the feelings go away. Let there be nothing. Then whatever remains is the self-realization. Hemchuda learned all these things. I'll take 5-7 minutes more. I know time is up, but I have to finish this Hemlata Upakhyan. So he meditated, and then, Hemlekha noticed that her husband has attained supreme peace, so she did not disturb him. So he was in meditation for 1.5 hours like this, and then he opened his eyes and he saw his wife nearby. So, when you are in samadhi, there is a deep state of intoxication. So he looked at her and he didn't want to look at her. He's like, I want to close my eyes, go back to my happiness. Hemlekha touched him, took hold of his hands, and asked him sweetly, my dear Lord, I'm sitting right near you. For 1.5 hours, you are meditating. Why don't you look at me and talk to me now? He's like, he was looking drunk. And he replied reluctantly. And he said, my dear wife, I have found pure, untainted happiness. I cannot find the satisfaction in the activities of the world, as sorrow increases when they finish. Enough of these worldly activities. They are tasteless to me. Like a sucked orange, only indulge in wastrels, or like a cattle incessantly chewing their cud. So please do not drag me back to this world. I am not interested. And then he's like holding his hand, is like, let me fall back. Oh, my wifey, let me fall back again into the peace of my blissful state. And I pity you, my wife. You already know this state. Then why are you not doing the same thing which I want to do? Close your eyes and meditate. Why are you nicely opening your eyes and being in the world when you know this? So this is what happens with spiritual people, because meditation gives you the joy, but then, and then you don't want to come back to the world. So this is what the stage of the king is. And now here, what is important, what Hemlata says, no, my dear king, it's good you experience that blissful state. But what is that blissful state? You close your eyes and you are saying, oh, the bliss is there. And you open your eyes and say, bliss is gone. If that is a state, bliss, you close your eyes and it is blissful, you open your eyes, it is gone, then that is not the state of bliss. Now still you have not reached that highest stage of self-realization. This is only a delusion still. How ridiculous to think that your eyelid 1 inch long can shut up the expanse in which millions of worlds revolve in one corner alone. Listen, Prince, I will tell you further. As long as these knots are not cut asunder, so long will bliss not be found. So whatever you are experienced is good. But there are knots which give rise to mistaken ideas. So first knot you have cut, me, mine, you have cut, good. This is not mine. This body is not mine. Understood. So 2 knots you have cut. There are various knots, but you have cut. But the third knot, which is the biggest knot, is there is no difference between that Bhagwan, which is pure consciousness, and all the living entities, which is they are also pure consciousness. So you have to cut this knot also. I'm sitting right beside you. I can open my eyes and I know you are also pure consciousness. I am also pure consciousness. So when I touch you, I am not perturbed. But you say you have experienced the bliss, and the moment I said, talk to me, you're like, oh, don't bring me out of the blissful state. Whether I live in the world whether I meditate, my blissful state should not be undisturbed. That you have to practice now. The other knots, including the differentiation of beings among themselves from the universal self, super soul, you have to cut it off. The man is not finally redeemed until he has cut off all these knots of ignorance. The state which is the result of your closing the eyes cannot be enough, for it is pure intelligence and internal truth transcending anything else, yet serving as a magnificent mirror to reflect the phenomena arising in itself. Prove, if you can, that everything is not contained in it. So this blissful state, what you're talking, the whole world is in that blissful state. Don't just say it is just in your inside your eyelids. It is everywhere. So you have to focus on that blissful state. Therefore, when you say, I will lose it by opening my eyes, then that knot has to be cut. Be strong. Root out your thoughts and cut off the deep-rooted knots from your heart. And then I will see, I will not see, I will miss, I will not miss, I am this, I am not this. Remove everything. Find wherever you turn, wherever you open your eyes, find that one undivided, eternal, blissful self. Then you will be happy. At the end of her speech, Hemchuda's confusion was cleared up and he gradually became well established in perfect self and being always equable, just like how in Gita Bhagwan says, Sukha dukkhe samay kritva labha labha jaya jayo, adveshta sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha. All those things which is spoken in chapter 12, all those qualities came in Hemchud. He led a very happy life with Hemlekha and others. See, here also is not running to the forest, okay? He was a Jivan Mukta, he was a liberated soul now. He reigned over his kingdom, made it prosperous, engaged his enemies in war, conquered them, studied the scriptures, taught them to others, filled his treasury, performed the sacrifices pertaining to royalty, and lived 20,000 years emancipated while yet alive. Jivan Mukta. King Mukta Chuda, his father, who heard about Hemchuda, he was like, Hemchuda has changed. His brothers and them, they all agreed that Hemchuda was not as before. He is not afflicted by the greatest pleasures of life, nor the worst of the sorrows. He treats his friend and foe alike. He is indifferent to loss and gain, exactly like Gita. And he's engaged in the royal duties, just like an actor in a play. He seemed like a man always intoxicated with wine, but he did his duty well, notwithstanding his absent-minded or otherworldly look. They pondered over the matter and wondered. They all sought him in private and asked the reason. And he finally gave him the same teachings of his wife, and they also became Jivan Mukta. All of them gained the highest good of life and transcended desire, anger, lust, etc. Even the children in that city, in the town, were no longer moved by passions. Same with the old people. A mother would rock the cradle with lullabies expressive of her highest truth. The whole state was thus composed only of sages and philosophers. All men, women, servants, everybody there became Jivan Mukta. Once rishis, the Sanaka, etc., they came to this city, which was called as Vishala earlier, but they renamed the city as Vidyanagar. Even parrots and other birds, cockatoos in their cages, spoke the words of wisdom, and the city was named as the city of wisdom. So the Dattatreya said, thus you see, Parshuram, the primary cause of emancipation is association with the wise, satsanga, satsanga, satsanga. And therefore, if somebody wants to walk on this path, satsanga is more important. Thus ends the chapter 10. Tomorrow we will hear some more interesting stories. Sorry, the time is a little more, but then I have to finish this in 10 days. So that's why, please bear with me. All right. Your comments? Ma, mera husband doesn't care, doesn't even know what to hear me. He's a good person and believe in doing his duties, but he doesn't chant or meditate. I feel like maybe I'm pushing him away from God, because when I hear good stories of Bhagwan, or when I have some kind of realization, I started to talk about it, like how deep it is. So moral of story, ignore everything what wife says. He's on his own journey, you're on your own journey. Whatever good things you have, you must definitely share. But if he's put off by it, then pray for him. That's all. Dear Guru Maa, my daughter will be going to college in August and she feels homesick and is quite emotional about this. Of course, I love her and reassure her that this is a great milestone in her life and this is important to grow. We can meet as it is instead. What are some ways I can help her? Soul learn detachment without sounding so strong like Hemlata. No, you don't have to strong, because you're just a baby. Okay, so yes, I mean, you just talk to her and say, I'm always there whenever you want me to come, because it is in state, so not even to worry. You can just tell whenever you want to come, I'll come and meet you. Whenever you want to meet me, come and meet me. Let her feel comfortable. The home is always open. So they'll get through it. It's normal. It's normal. They'll get through it. My son is in New York. Imagine, we can only meet only when there is a break. That's all. And sometimes if he has work, we can't even meet. But then you deal with it. Yeah. I will listen to your answer on YouTube. Need to work. No worries. Hemlata was like a guru for Hemchud. Yes. All right. माँ बच्चों को कसir सिखाइए. Kasir. I don't know what kasir is. But I don't know what kasir is. All right. Anyways, may all your day and night be Lalitamay, and we'll see you tomorrow with more insights, more beautiful, profound knowledge. Jai Ma, Jai Shri Lalita.
थैंक यू।
कैसे बच्चों को कैसे सिखाए, ऐसे अपने अपने स्वभाव से सिखा दीजिए बस। आपका स्वभाव अच्छा होगा, आपके बच्चे आपको देखते देखते सीख जाएंगे। डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा फॉर किड्स।